Hi guys, today we are checking how to set Arri lighting, and this tutorial is about all about Arri lighting, like how to set up, and plus how can you adjust the lights with the temperature and everything. So I hope you like this tutorial.
It depends. I mean, this is a photography setup, so yeah, this is kind of preferably I'd like this higher, and maybe another 2. But we're in limited space.
But normally we use key lights and the backlight.
And the soft lights. Yeah, it's a mixture of hard and soft. We also have a number of accessories which are really good for the photography, where we make these apertures even larger and even softer. So we get really nice wraparound lights and make our models look really fantastic.
Same light we use for video as well? Is it the same?
Well, that's the thing, yeah. So traditionally, photography has been done with flash. Because you're working at such tight apertures and such low sensitivities to get the cleanest image possible, the sort of continuous light has never been bright enough, or it's been so bright it's been uncomfortable for the talent.
Oh.
So traditionally what you've used is flash, which is an instant flash, and the talent doesn't feel so difficult. I mean, this is pretty bright for you, I'm guessing. Oh. Yeah. The eyes, just don't look at the lights. Look anywhere but the lights. You're trying. Look at the lovely ladies. Just the tops of their heads or just off the side of their shoulders. Unless they ask you to look down the barrel and then look straight into the lens. Straight into the lens, the barrel. Like a gun. Alright.
So these lights don't need the generator or anything?
They don't. They all work off 13 amp
using
domestic
outlets.
Light, yeah. I think you can run them up to 6 lamps on a single outlet.
6? Oh.
Yeah, so it's really energy efficient. These are 400 watts. That's a 200 watt. So, and that's the equivalent of a 1K light, and these are the equivalent of a 2K soft.
2K soft.
Yeah. So really
and how much is one unit cost as well? How much is the 1 unit cost?
How much is one of these units cost? It's around 3,000 pounds. 3,000.
Only one.
And that's just for the unit, only with no accessories.
And if somebody is looking, if they wanted to buy, where can they buy it?
We have 3 distributors. We don't sell directly to customers anymore, except for Pinewood MBS, which is the big filmmaking guys. Warner Brothers can buy directly. But if you want to buy as a normal consumer, it's Flashlight, In Motion, and Bubs. I wish. And then you have your RGBW, which I kind of like a bit more because it's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. You're looking at the subject and you're mixing the colors to your specification rather than a predefined gel.
Is that RGBW?
White, yeah. So you can do it through there. XY is really cool. My spectrometer doesn't have it because it's a slightly older one, but the newer ones have an XY coordinate, so I can take an ambient reading of the room, and then I can take that XY coordinate, plow it into here, and it will give the exact same color temperature as your ambient room. So if you haven't got control over everything, it's a very good way of actually getting as close as possible to your environment. Next mode, we're back to CCT. So I'm gonna leave this one in HSI. so you guys can play with a bit of colour and see what the film does with that.
And change colours on both of them.
Yeah. We just, there you go. You've got to be quite sensitive with it. And if it's too heavy, the colour, I can just lighten it with the saturation, just making it a weaker. But I think that's a pretty good crash course for you guys. The control. Best thing you can do is play with it. And those who want to play with these ones, you've got to do it from the manuals here. But for these ones, these two, and the third one up here, you've got a little thing here. So work together in teams, coordinate what you want in the background and the foreground, and see if you can make something interesting and imaginative.
Is the difference between these lights and HMI lights?
So HMI is a continuous light source, the same as these, but it uses an arc, and the arc produces a very bright, solid light, and it's so bright that it's sort of competing with the sun. So when you need to compete with the sun in a scene, you use an HMI. Also, it's very good for very long distance throwing of light. So if you need the light to be a great distance away from your subject, again, you'd use an HMI.
Like for example, if you wanted to use a sunlight and it's coming inside the room or something, so you can use it from outside and it'll look like it's the sun.
Exactly. So in an overcast day where you can't control the sun, you get your HMIs out and you put them into the scene where it would be in the sort of logical position of where the sun might be.
So basically, what is the differences between those lights are more heavier?
They're
and
more
these are
energy hungry. So 18,000 watt capability and higher, and also you can always go down to the smaller side with like a 500 watt HMI. The idea of them is they have great throw of light and a very precise color temperature and a very high output. So actually very energy efficient, although it may seem like they're not energy efficient, but because of the level of output you get from them, they're considered in our business very energy efficient.
But those are more professional users?
No, our entire line is meant for cinematic work. So all the lights are very high standard, and they have to be. I mean, our biggest thing with the LED is the color science. It's the same with our cameras. So our cameras are famous for giving the most natural look, and that's also what we try to do with our lights, that there's an ecosystem between all our equipment where it's for the very highest possible level of production.
And these lights also can use it on the stage lighting as well?
Correct. So they're not overly popular in theatre, because in theatre you need very precise control, so a lot of the time you'd use a profile light like a Source 4 with a lot of heavy shuttering, but you do find our lights in theatre still more in the tungsten range.